So there's another view now. Apparently to add to my earlier comments, this was the English line where the memorial cross is. That's in about the middle of the English line. And the Scots were actually up on the crest of this hill. Just where you see that farm poking over the top. And it would have been quite boggy. And the Scots are armed with Braveheart style pikes, whereas the English had the much shorter, probably less than half the length, bill hooks. So when it got to hand combat, the Scots had a very difficult task to manoeuvre those great pikes, whereas the English were able to jab and hook them a bit more successfully. But you're seeing the ground here, you can imagine them. Well, if you give it a real good go, you can imagine them up on the crest of that hill there. We've got a couple of boards up here. I'm going to try and do a little bit of a walk. It's 5 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon stroke evening. I'm going to keep going as long as I can and see if I can make out any more features here. I think there is a visitor centre. I'm sure it'll be shut by now. May come back tomorrow. It's a bit like Bosworth in a way, really. The visitor shop is okay up to a point. It gives you a little bit of a broad sort of canvas of what was going on, but there's probably nothing in there that you couldn't get if you googled it, you know. Now, battle is joined. The tide of battle turns. Yes, it's all to do with the lie of the land and the conditions. Heavy rain for a number of days before the battle with the Scots undoing, and the fact that with those long pikes they were not able to wield them so successfully, whereas the English with their much more manageable bill hooks, I can see those now with their, you know, the different kind of blades that they had, a little hook at the end. Exactly what you want for pulling someone off a horse or prodding someone. So there you have the English line, and the Scots coming down this hill like a juggernaut, as it's described. I don't know where King James was killed. I don't know if they know specifically, but I shall try and see if I can locate it. Quite a nice old ruin over there, obviously hundreds of years after the actual battle, but the look of that actually looks quite quaint. I do like an old ruin. Fortunately, so does my wife. She would never have married me otherwise. We've got another signpost coming up. I'll have to find an axe head or something like that, but I don't think that's going to happen. God, there's some flies here. Blue bottles. They're as big as blackbirds. Well, that's a slight exaggeration, but yeah, that's a lovely old ruin up there. I think that's marvellous, really. In someone's home over the years. Happiness, sadness, the whole lot going on. And these are the main protagonists. Although this spot is very tranquil these days, it was here in this dip where the battle was centred and where most of the slaughter took place. Today the land is drained by a ditch, but 500 years ago this area was marsh made into a quagmire by weeks of autumn rain. When the two armies met, thousands of feet began to churn up the ground, and as men began to fall and blood began to flow, the whole area became a seething, slimy morass. The picture below shows typically armed soldiers from each of the two armies. Most of the Scots carried long, unwieldy pikes, which relied on tight formations for their effectiveness. The typical English soldier carried a billhook, a much shorter weapon which could be thrust in short, piercing jabs or swung like an axe. Given the conditions, which way would you prefer to have been armed? The Scottish battle plan was to use their French-trained pike formation to cut through the English lines, but everything fell apart for them when they reached here. They sank knee-deep in the mud, lost momentum and tight formation that made the pike such a devastating weapon. It was then that the English struck, jabbing, cutting, pulling and hacking with their billhooks. When it came to this close-quarter hand-to-hand fighting in such difficult conditions, the Scots proved to be at a serious disadvantage. Okay, so this is the centre of it all, the hollow, the dip. Yes, it is a mighty slope, really. I mean, it's very difficult to get the impression through camera screen, but that would be very difficult in light clothing to walk up or down. And again, we can look up from here to what they had in front of them. They were literally running out of steam and getting caught up in the morass, bogginess of this area, and they still had to go up there to where the cross was. So yes, it was disaster written all over it, really. So quiet here, though. I mean, you can't help but contrast, on the day of the battle, the amount of suffering, noise. Add to that the cannons. I mean, a relatively recent acquisition to a medieval battlefield, and those would have been noises that most people at that time wouldn't have been used to. But today, absolutely nothing. You can hear the crickets chirping, owls hooting. Yes, very, very difficult to comprehend a clash of 30 or 40,000 men here. I think the other battlefield I need to get to put it in some perspective is Towton. That's the other one I mean to see. I believe that's the most colossal battle on British soil. But this one was close, and it was disastrous given the loss of the Scottish nobility and their king. But I'm gonna just follow the field round now, and I hope this is not too jerky. I'm holding the phone by hand. I'll have to get one of those selfie sticks, I suppose. So I don't know if that would even be any steadier for me. I've got notoriously shaky hands, as any of you who've suffered through my videos will know. Everything looks like a Force 7 earthquake. But anyway, we shall see. We shall press on. Viewpoint. Oh, may not make that. That seems quite It's a long way. So the viewpoint is way up there. I think I can manage that. I'll have just a check out of this sign and then probably wrap it up. Right, the boggy ground. A month of rain. Yeah. So there it is, the infamous boggy ground that brought the Scots to defeat. I shall carry on walking, if you can bear with me. So I hope I don't give you all eye problems with this jerkiness, but trying to hold it as steady as possible. I'm hoping this side of the field will take me back to somewhat in the direction of where I parked. There is a church, Branxton Church, where the dead of both sides are commemorated, and I believe a few of the senior commanders are actually buried there. Although one of the problems, or one of the things about a medieval battlefield is that nothing went to waste. The bodies were stripped of all armour, and so unless you can locate the burial pits, you tend to not have a kind of metal detectorist's dream of recovering anything. Not with the odd horseshoe and axe head or spear point, but generally not so much. There doesn't appear to be anything more to see that way. I think I'm probably going to quit now, guys, and hope you'll join me next time if I get to Towton. I may even have a look back. I haven't been for years to Bosworth, but hopefully I shall. I think that's the observation platform up there, just where the tree stops at the top. So yeah, the Scots could see, but they couldn't see the nature of the ground. So I'm pleased to say I actually think, to a certain extent, I understand this battlefield. I usually don't. I'm afraid I'm not very good at interpreting these things. I never know quite who was where and did what, but there is something about this battlefield that's it's impressed itself on even me. So yeah, if you get a chance to get up this way, I suppose the nearest kind of town is Coldstream, nearest city is Berwick-on-Tweed, so it's right just over the border from Scotland. But yeah, interesting. Okay guys, thank you for coming with me.